What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. VP Tactical here, and today we are continuing, as promised from the previous video, talking about the bow. And so this video is designed to be, maybe for the beginner or somebody who's just kind of starting off looking at, archery products, or wants to get into hunting or just target practice, whatever it might be, competition shooting. Bows are absolutely fun. If you've never shot one, definitely get out and try it. They're relatively inexpensive once you get the basics down, or at least have purchased the basics, because you don't have to reload anything. There's no ammo to buy, aside from your arrows, which you generally reuse. And, generally, on occasion, you potentially may break one, but besides that fact. And so I just wanted to dive in and talk a little bit about the bow and the mechanics of it and just some of the features. And so, appreciate you joining me today for this video, and definitely hit that like and subscribe button if you like my content, and also that little bell. That way, as soon as my newest content comes out. A lot of times I'll do like little series or mini series, if you will. But as always, appreciate you, especially those folks who just recently joined and who those may join in the future. But long story short, enough talking. We'll dive in and talk a little bit about the bow here. And so this is the Bear Archery Light Cruiser, and the basic components of a compound bow, which is what this is. You're gonna look at a couple of different things. And so, you've got your standard grip here. The composition of the bow, you're gonna have, your main grip, the body of, or the chassis of it, if you will. A stabilizer, you may or may not have one of these. These are designed to more or less reduce your recoil. Keep the bow as level as possible, so when you actually release, it's not jumping around on you, and your target acquisition stays as it should. You're going to have some sort of sight, whatever that might look like, and there's a whole different slew of different types that are out there. This one actually happens to be fiber optic. It's really cool. It's actually driven off of the surrounding light, so that's only potential pitfall is that if it gets dark outside, you're going to lose potentially your sights, or will lose your sights. Rests, arrow rests. So this is called a Whisker Biscuit. As you can see, it's got these little bristles, so your arrow actually goes right in there. It slips right in here through the side. There's different types of rests that are available out there on the market. This is a common one. There's always potential pitfalls and drawbacks to the different types of arrow rests, so that's something you'll want to research, or something I may even talk about in the near future. This particular bow is quite equipped, so you'll see, and some bows may or may not have this. This is called a arrow knock, or a lot of folks, correct me if I'm wrong, D-loop, as a lot of folks will refer to it as. And so this is something you can hold on to either with your hands, or you could even use mechanical release, something like one of these guys where it's actually looped around your wrist, like so, just to give you an idea. And then you basically have like a trigger, and so this would grip onto that little D-loop, and then when you're ready to fire, you'll basically squeeze that back, and similar, much to like a gun, but quite handy. Not absolutely necessary that you need it. Silencers, so these little guys here, and again, not all bows are equipped with this stuff, but at least to kind of give you some perspective in case you come across these terms. Silencers, and these are designed to do, well, exactly that. They're designed to silence your string in order to keep the bow as quiet as possible, especially if you're out in the woods hunting. Just some, again, major key points when I talk about that. These are your cams. So you'll see they have this oblong shape to it. And that's as you pull back on this, it's going to cycle around. And at a certain point, you've got so much energy stored up in here, and the bow does what they call a let off. So when you get to a certain point, it basically takes the pressure off of you. And in this case, I believe this bow is 70% let off. So you're really only actually holding 30% of the weight. So whatever the draw weight is, 10, 15, 20, 40, 45 pounds, you're only holding about 30% of that, which is a huge benefit, especially, if you have to hold it for, 10, 15, 20 seconds while you're perfecting your target acquisition and the shot that you want to take. These are called limbs. So it's a good piece to talk about, the limbs. And what's important about these is that depending on your bow, the limbs are going to dictate what draw weight, if you will, is going to be applied to the string and your actual mechanical movement pulling this back. You'll see here this has got quite a few turns out, and that's because we wanted a lower draw weight on this for the lady who's starting off with the bow. And, as these get tighter and tighter, or these closer together, there's a lot more tension on these limbs. And so that would essentially increase your draw weight. So just some things, again, to kind of share with you. Hopefully this is helpful, especially given the fact that, like I said, if you're somebody new, or maybe you just kind of wanted to brush up on some knowledge when it comes to bows, just some information to share with you in that regard. Just some of my findings based on what I've seen, and also read, watched, all the above. And a lot of bows too will also come with some sort of quiver, if you will, where your arrows actually rest into. And so that way you can actually carry them with you, if you're on the go, or if you're out on the range, that you don't necessarily have to have a quiver that you sling over your back, which is like a device, kind of like a carrying case, if you will, for your arrow. So just some, again, major points I wanted to hit on, talk about the bow. Again, do hope that this was helpful, at least kind of point you in the right direction. Definitely don't hesitate to ask, drop questions, comments below. Following this video, I'm intending to talk a little bit about arrows and arrow technology, composition of them, how, what it takes to buy them, because that was kind of a mystery to me too, getting into the bow world and buying this for my lady, was looking at all of the various different aspects of it. Because while I absolutely love technology and everything else, I'm a very analytical person. And so I don't just jump in and buy something. I generally spend a lot of time researching, and that could be countless hours to say the least, and I won't get into that. But being analytical, I definitely spend more time researching to understand what it is exactly I'm getting into, how it works, the mechanics of it, and what I need to do to make it work for our specific purposes. But long story short, hope you enjoyed this video. Like I said, definitely hit that like and subscribe button. We are pretty much a self-funded channel, so any support that we get is much, much appreciated, and thank you for being part of that squad. On that note, I wish you a wonderful rest of your week, and just want to say stay safe and be healthy out there, and vigilant. Take care.